please work. Yes, it's working. Yes, live is working. Hello, hello and welcome. A very warm welcome to Wild Ginger Running live gear chat. It's 1 p.m. on a Tuesday here in the UK, and this is going to be the last gear chat live on a Tuesday at 1 p.m. because from the new year, from 2019 onwards, we're going to be moving to the new time of Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. So join me then for live gear chat on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. So today we're going to be talking about Christmas gifts. So I'm going to be telling you what I want for Christmas, and it's something that hasn't been invented yet. So I'm going to be telling you about that, and I want you to all share in the chat what you are going to be hoping for this Christmas, or what you've maybe already bought yourself, or maybe some disastrous gifts from the past as well. So let me know in the chat what you are hoping for this Christmas from Santa, what he's going to be bringing you. And I'm going to be telling you what I want that hasn't been invented yet. I'm also going to be telling you about a couple of the things that I've received in the post lately, gear-wise. There's a couple of books, and there's this thing here, which I'm going to be telling you about. And I'm also going to be doing a recap from last week's live, which was the Alpkit running poles, and I couldn't work out, I did a live unboxing and I couldn't work out how to extend them fully, so I'm going to be showing you how I worked that out, like literally 2 minutes after I had finished going live. So that's what's going to happen. So before we start chatting about Christmas gifts and what we're hoping for this year, keep your comments coming in the chat, by the way. First of all, I'm just going to give you an update on what is happening with Wild Ginger Running on YouTube in 2019. So this is the final live at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday. The live is moving to 8:30 p.m. on a Wednesday. So we're going to do 1 week, we're going to do a live gear chat like we have been doing. So the first one of the year in 2019 is going to be budget backpacks. So I've got about 6 to 8 budget packs, and I'm going to be going through all of those on the first Wednesday in January in 2019. So every other Wednesday, we're going to have an elite athlete or an expert come on. So I've got people like Damien Hall and Beth Pascal and Harry Runs lined up for interviews already. And people like Shane Benzie, who I did the technique video with just recently. I'm sure he'd be keen to come on. And Anita Bean has said she's keen to come on. I just put a video up about her yesterday. She's the author of the Runner's Cookbook. So those are the kind of people that I'm going to get on a Wednesday evening for everybody to chat to. So we're going to alternate between gear chat and trail chat, where we talk to an elite athlete or an expert. So that's the Wednesday at 8:30. So join me then. And then the other change to the schedule is that rather than having a film coming out every Thursday at 7 a.m., we're going to change to having a film come out every Monday at 5 p.m. So that's either going to be a Q&A where I answer all your questions from the YouTube comments, or it's going to be a general film with helpful information in, like the ones where I did like the downhill tips from the pros and the uphill tips, and recent ones like the technique film from Shane Benzie, and then how to run with poles with Lecky poles. So it's going to alternate between Q&A and a general useful film. So the films that I've got coming up for you in January, as the first one is going to be about motivation and staying motivated to keep to your resolutions and get out there in the winter. And then the second one's going to be about building your endurance for 2019. So say you want to just take things a little further. It doesn't have to be ultra. It could be that you're on 5K and you want to run 10K. The tips are applicable to all levels and all distances. So join me on Wild Ginger Running for some really great content for 2019. So, oh yeah, and sometimes I'll just randomly put something else. If there's any bonus footage, I'll put that up on a Friday maybe. And sometimes at weekends I go to races. So you can join me live at a race the weekends. But mainly it's going to be the films out 5 p.m. on a Monday. A film will come out, and then join me live at 8:30 p.m. on the Wednesday for the gear chat or the trail chat. So that's going to be really, really exciting. I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about the new time, because I think tons more people will be able to attend. And I'm just really excited to get it all going, really. So before I tell you what Christmas present I want that hasn't been invented yet, I want to see what you want for Christmas this year. So everybody who's watching now, type in the comments, type in the chat comments on the right hand side, type in what you want for Christmas, and we can just have a bit of a chat generally. Just thought I'd just keep this one a bit free and easy this week so that everybody could just chip in, and you can just ask me anything that you want to as well. Ask me my opinions on things, or ask me if I've reviewed certain gear. Just thought I'd keep this last session nice and free and easy so anybody can just chip in and ask whatever they like. Yeah, and I've got some exciting things to tell you about as well coming through. We've got an exciting competition coming up as well I'm going to tell you about. So we've got a first comment coming in. We've got Rob Tomlin. He says he wants some running mojo, please. Well, that will be the motivational film for you then, Rob. That'll drop. I think that's a cool word, isn't it? Drop. That'll drop on the 1st of January. That is actually a Wednesday. So already I'm, oh no, it's not. Is it Tuesday? I can't remember what day it is. Whatever day it is, it's not one of my days when I just said films will come out. But something is going to come out on the 1st of January, and it's going to be all about motivation. It's even got some motivational comments from Johnny Brownlee, the other Brownlee brother, the triathlete. Yeah, so he's given some tips on motivation. John Gardner, he wants, hello John, nice to see you. John Gardner wants merino wool from top to bottom. That is a great shout. So yeah, I've got some really lovely long sleeve merino layers and some merino leggings as well, and they keep you really, really, really warm. And Klaus Thorsen, he wants Monday for Christmas. Oh, he's probably just telling me that New Year's Day is a Monday. New Year's Eve, I think, is a Monday, and New Year's Day is a Tuesday. So I'll have a film out on the Tuesday, even though I just told you that I would have films coming out on the Monday. So yeah, so Hein Meinhardt says he wants his first trail running shoes. He made it easy for Santa by just telling him that it was the Brooks Cascadia, size 11. Fantastic. Great. So trail running shoes for Christmas. That's a really good shout. Matt Walker wants a lightweight, small packing, full body cover. Well, if you want a recommendation for that, you could go for the Om Halo jacket and Om Halo pants. They're super, super light. The pants are like 75 grams. The jacket's like 100 grams. So that's what I'd immediately go for lightweight, full body cover. Matt, if you want a recommendation there. And Klaus Thorsen is going to go for underwear. That's a very good choice, Klaus. That's excellent. And I hope that you put pictures of that all over social media. That's fantastic. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to show you a couple of bits of gear that came in over the week. So first of all, I was at a shoot on the weekend, and a lady called Julie came to the shoot, and this is a book that she has written. It's called Running the Red Line by Julie Carter, and she's signed it for me, which is really nice of her. So to Claire, happy running with love from Julie. There we go. And this book, I haven't read it yet, but it's going to be one of my over Christmas reads. It's nice to have a Christmas read, isn't it? And it says it's an emotional, and this is Kelly Holmes. Dame Kelly Holmes has written something here. She's put that this is an emotional, heartwarming and thought-provoking, characterful story of persistence, dedication and love of life within sport. And that's from Dame Kelly Holmes, double Olympic champion. So apparently Running the Red Line is an informative and engaging book about running and competing, about the beauty of the fells, and above all about human emotion. So sounds interesting. Julie Carter is a doctor and psychologist. She's also a veteran British and English fell running champion. Wow, she didn't tell me that. That's amazing, Julie. And she's a poetic writer. Her stories are at times hilarious. This bodes well. And at times tragic, but always bravely honest. Here are powerful tales of meeting life's challenges with determination, told with unique style and insight. That's fantastic. I can't wait to read this book. So the reason it's called The Red Line is because we all have our limits, apparently. Yes, I definitely found out my limits on the Cape Bath Ultra this year, and the film of that will be out in 2019 as well. I've just found someone to edit it, so that's really exciting. And we all have our limits, our own red lines, but what we spend a lot of time with we spend a lot of time with huge margins between what we do and what we can do. So she's talking about how to push your red line and your limits. So this is a book about how to approach the red lines of maximum performance and be rewarded with maximum satisfaction. So I think this is going to be a really fitting New Year book, actually. It's about pushing yourself and meeting challenges and getting satisfaction out of your running. So I think this is going to be really good. That's fantastic. Thank you very much for giving me this book, Julie. And I'll put a link to this book in the description below when I finish the live chat so that you can all check it out too. So we've got a couple more Christmas gifts coming in on the chat here. So we've got Sally Gilson. Hello, Sally. She got hers early, a Sunto Spartan Ultra Watch. Wow, that is incredible. That is an amazing Christmas gift. Very good shout there, Sally. And Billy Stobart says he wants some long distance trail shoes for training for his first ultra, the Lakeland Trails 55K. Amazing. That's amazing, Billy. Good. That's a good first ultra as well. I love the Lakeland Trails. I started my first trail races on the Lakeland Trails, so it was absolutely amazing. And Richard Tusson says, to help me get to races faster, I'd like an Aston Martin. Well, hopefully Santa will sort that out for you, Richard. I can't see that being a problem at all. Yeah. So yeah, another thing that I got sent this week, it looks like I get sent stuff all the time. It's like Christmas every day here. I got sent this interesting item, which I'm going to do a fake unboxing of because it's got all my emergency contact details on. So I had to sellotape over them. But this is something that I mentioned in my last Q&A film. And it's a company called Road ID, and they make these really nice looking identification bracelets that you can wear whilst you're running, so that if, God forbid, anything should happen to you, you can be identified quickly and your next of kin can be notified quickly. So it's really nice looking products. It opens like this. Pull it out like this, and it says there, wow, is that yours? It's magnificent, just like you. No, bit of flattery will get you anywhere, won't it? And then open it out, and you see that I went onto their site and I typed in all of these details. So I typed in my name, my emergency contact details, and whatever allergies you can put in that as well. And then this is basically a band that you wear, and you can always be assured of getting the help that you need when you need it, should that day arise. So let's fingers crossed that never arises. But it's very, very swanky. It's in this lovely kind of velvet case. It's very, very nice. And I'm just going to take that out. And yeah, oh, it's nice and soft, actually. I haven't actually taken that out before, but that's really nice. Like, you could kind of wear that as a sort of a fashion item. Oh, well. Yeah, I'm not very fashionable, so I could wear it as a fashion item. But yeah, so it just goes on like so, and then you just hold it here, and then you pop this in here like this, and then it's a bit of Velcro, and it just Velcros down. So that is actually, that's really nice, isn't it? Like, I like that. That's really lovely. So that is another option for a Christmas gift if anyone's run out of ideas for the runner in their life. So that's the Road ID safety band there. So yeah, that's Road ID, their website. I'll put a link to in the description below as well. So that's really cool. I like that. Okay, so Guy Greatorex. Hi, Guy. Brilliant. So Guy has just chipped in £5 on the super chat, which is really super kind of him. And he says, I have just got some Innovates for Christmas and a dry robe to open on Christmas Day. That's fantastic. So Innovates, one of my favorite types of shoe, one of my favorite brands of trail running shoe, made in Britain. And yeah, there's tons of different types now, and they're just really, really grippy. It's the main thing I find with an Innovate shoe. Really light, really grippy, really responsive to the terrain underfoot. So that's Innovate shoes. Fantastic, Guy. And a dry robe to open on Christmas. So if anyone doesn't know what a dry robe is, it's one of those towels that you put right over the top of you, and there's got armholes and a head hole, and you can get changed underneath it and sort of dry yourself, and it's really snuggly and warm, and then put all your clothes on underneath, and so you can get changed anywhere, like a car park where there's no changing facilities. So that is a really, really really cool present. And if you're looking for some last minute gift for somebody, a dry robe is quite an interesting one to get. So that's good. So Guy also says he's got one of these road IDs, and he says it's a good idea too. So that's good. That's definitely a good thing to have there, Guy. So your nearest and dearest can be alerted if anything goes wrong. God forbid that it does. Paul Way says that he is going to get a vegan cookery book. He's turning vegan in the new year, and he's already got a few ideas from me and some other people. Fantastic. So that's great. A vegan cookery book. So I don't know if I'm allowed to tell anyone this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. But Anita Bean, I put a video of her out yesterday on my channel because she's speaking at the National Running Show in 2019 in January. Come along if you're around Birmingham, because I'm going to be there, so you can say hi. But Anita Bean is bringing out, I think it's in March, she's bringing out a vegetarian athlete's cookbook, and it's going to be called something along the lines of The Vegetarian Athlete. And it's going to have, because she is personally vegetarian, and it's going to have a lot of vegan recipes in as well. So I'm going to get her to come on the channel and tell us all about that book. So Paul, hopefully she'll be able to give you some more ideas about vegan running as a vegan athlete, as well as do great books like Scott Dureck's Eat and Run. And I know somebody on the YouTube comments has said No Meat Athlete is a really good book as well. So that is fantastic. And then Guy Greater-X is just saying, yeah, peace of mind with this road ID band here. So that's great. Okay, so we've got some really nice presents. We've got shoes, we've got GPS watches, we've got Aston Martin, and we've got things like cookery books as well. And I've got sent another book just recently, and it's from Cicerone. Now, Cicerone make guidebooks, and they've recently brought out a few different trail running guidebooks. They've got I've got them on my bookshelf here. There's a fast packing one, there's a Chamonix one, and there's a Lake District trail running guidebook. So Cicerone have been now going for 50 years making their guidebooks. They started off with hiking, and now they're doing like running and mountain biking as well. But this is a book to celebrate their 50 years of adventure. It's really nice. It's really nicely made. And it's got loads of ideas for different adventures in. And it's got about the Cicerone story as well, and where they came from. And it's not particularly like aimed at runners or anything, but I mean, if you see an adventure and it's for a mountain bike or it's for a hike, then you can just run it. So I just think outside the box. It doesn't have to be a running adventure. It can be, you can take inspirations for adventure from anywhere. So they've got different sections, like this is adventures in Europe, obviously, and there's some beautiful, really inspiring pictures in this book as well. And it just makes you want to be there. Doesn't that make you want to be there? I love books like this to put on my coffee table, just makes you want to be there. That's fantastic, isn't it? The Zermatt Safari. Oh, that was the press notes coming out. Yeah, and then just stuff in the UK as well. Stuff abroad, stuff in Morocco, stuff in Kyrgyzstan, Inca Trail. Wow, you could run the Inca Trail. It would be quite technical underfoot. And then there's a whole section on mishaps and misadventures as well. So it's quite funny. You can hear all their basically everyone who's written their guidebooks has chipped in here. So this is when stuff goes wrong, which is always more funny than when stuff goes right. So there we go. And then at the end, there's all the contributors as well. So these are all the people that write the guidebooks. So yeah, this is the 50th anniversary edition by Cicerone, celebrating their 50 years of adventure this year. So that's another nice kind of coffee table Christmas book that you could consider. So yeah, so Guy Greater-X on the chat is asking, how did the polls work out? Did you find out how to put it together? So if you weren't watching last week's live chat, where I tried to do a live unboxing of this pole here, which is the marathon ultra pole from Alpkit. It's really, really light. It's 200 grams, and the price is ridiculous. It's 60 quid for a pair of these poles. And I couldn't for the life of me work out how they fitted together, because the Lecky pole here that I'm used to, it has a push button just here, just at the top. So I was looking for a push button at the top here, but on the OutKit pole, the push button is all the way down the bottom here. I'll just take the end off here. That's the tip there. And the push button is here. So this is the button I was looking for last week, and I couldn't find it at all, because when it folds up, if you fold it away like that, it folds up like that, and you can't even, like, I can't even tell that you need to pull this thing out further. So I was basically, I had the pole like this, and I was like, so then you do this, and then you do this. And then I was like, but how does it go together? Because the Lecky pole one's up here. So I was just looking up here, and I was like undoing this thing, because this is the variable length to it, like this. I was looking at that. I couldn't find it there. And then it was all the way here. And you can't, look, you can't tell, can you? You honestly can't tell that that's another bit you've got to bring out. So you pull that like that. I had to watch the video on the Alpkit. I should have watched that before. So then you pull that out, this little blob, this little pin comes out, and it secures the pole basically. So then you've got a fully rigid pole, and off you go into the distance. So these are amazing. They're so good. They're such good value, and they're so light. So I've got now 4 different types of pole, and I'm going to be testing them over 2019 to give them a bit more of a long-term test. And I'll be telling you about those later in 2019. So that is the catch-up on the Alpkit pole. So now I want to tell you about what I want for Christmas. Andy Mann says, what's a road ID? A road ID is this bracelet here, and it's got emergency contact details in that you fill out yourself. It costs about £30, and but it's dead comfy, and it's got all your contact details in there, and it's just a bomb-proof way of making sure that people will be able to contact you. I've got it upside down there. People will be able to contact you if anything happens to you on the run. Hopefully, fingers crossed that it won't. So that's a road ID for anybody who has come in to the chat late. So Christmas. So you've all told me what you want for Christmas. We've got watches, we've got shoes, we've got waterproofs and merino wool, and Richard wants an Aston Martin to get him to races faster. Yes, so what I would like for Christmas has not been invented yet. So basically, whenever I run in multi-day races for more than 3 to 4 days, I start to get my shoes just start to become too small. So yes, I could get a bigger pair of shoes, but that's not the area that's becoming too small. So what happens is, if you can imagine, this is my left foot here. So what happens is my feet start to swell like that. And basically my little toe just starts getting squished against all the others, because it hasn't got any room to spread out in the shoe. Because all shoes seem to start going in before my toe wants to go in. So what I want that hasn't been invented yet is a shoe with a toe box I'm going to draw it. I'm going to draw what I want. I think instead of a shoe which is like that, I want a shoe which, oh, this is a terrible drawing. I don't know if I even want to show this to you. But instead of a shoe that goes in like this, I want a shoe that's much wider, almost like a duck's foot, like almost like a duck's paddle. So that's what I want. I want a shoe that goes out more. So it's really hard because it reverses it. But so this is my big toe, more like there actually. Like that. I want my foot to be like that, because at the moment it sort of gets squished. So at the moment, my foot gets squished because the shoe comes in before the little toe wants to come in. So I basically want a really wide shoe, because I feel like my feet are like a triangle shape rather than the shape that shoes try to fit us into. And I know everyone's going to start saying Ultra shoes have a really wide toe box. I do have a pair of Ultra shoes, and I do wear them. And they are the best I found for having a nice wide toe box that your feet can sort of spread out into. But they are 0 drop, and I get on better with a little bit of a heel. So that's what I want for Christmas, is something that doesn't exist. And maybe one day that we'll invent a shoe like that. Like perhaps there could be a shoe that has like a zip on the side where the little toe is, and you can just sort of unzip and your toe can come out. That's not very practical in the British mud, is it? But maybe there's a baffle on there so that you can unzip it and make it a bit wider if you need to. But I told Shane Benzie about this when I went for my technique analysis with him. And he said that when a lot of the guys who are used to running with bare feet, they oh, bye, Guy's got to go now. So see you later, Guy. Hope you have a good time at work. Yeah, see you later. So Shane Benzie was saying that that a lot of the guys, the guys who are used to running with no shoes on because they're they're indigenous to that country and they've never worn shoes. Shane was telling me that a lot of them, when they get a pair of shoes, they actually cut out the bit there where their little toe goes, and so that their feet can spread properly. So doesn't that tell you something about shoes that we're making ourselves wear? It's like we're kind of binding our own feet by wearing these shoes that just push our feet in. If you look at your feet, your little toe probably fits together. Your little toe looks squished compared to the other ones, and I'm sure that normal trainers are squishing our toes in like that. So maybe one day I'll invent a shoe that's wider, just at the toe area. On the Cape Wrath Ultra, a lot of people that I spoke to were complaining that after a few days, it wasn't that their shoe was too big, it was just that the toe box was too narrow. So a lot of people that I was talking to on that multi-day race were saying that they could do with a wider toe box on that shoe. So this is definitely something that I'd be interested in talking to a shoe brand about in the future. Perhaps could get something made. But basically, I reckon I'd pay £500 to get a custom made shoe which was actually molded to the exact shape of my foot. And that's what I want for Christmas one year. Is that I don't know anyone who does that. I don't know if any brands do that. I'll try and find out, but that's what I want. I basically want a pair of shoes that actually fits my feet, because I've tested literally more than 100 pairs of trail running shoes for Trail Running Magazine and more for Wild Ginger Running, and I have not yet found a pair that fit perfectly. And I just think, like, I'm in a really privileged position. I can try all these different shoes, but if I can't find anything that fits my feet perfectly, either I've got really weird feet or something is a bit wrong, and customized shoes need to be invented. So that's just my idea. It hasn't been invented yet. So just yes, I know. Yes, Paul, I know. I've got a pair of Ultra shoes. I said that just at the beginning. They aren't wide enough. They're not wide enough. Still not wide enough, and they're zero drop, and I just need a little bit more of a heel. John Gardner says, I totally agree. I can only use wide shoes, and Ultra is not wide enough. New Balance makes wider sizes. You have to search the various brands carefully. Yeah, so I will continue to search. The other wide fitting shoe I found is the Innovate X. X-Claw, Cross Claw, they call it, X-Claw, everyone else calls it, 275, and that's got a nice wide fitting foot as well. So that's another good solution there. Yeah, so that's what I want for Christmas. Has anyone joined that hasn't told me what they want for Christmas yet? So keep writing your comments below, and just ask me any questions as well. Like if there's anything you particularly want me to cover in 2019, and anything you want to ask me now about gear, now's the time to ask, because we're just doing a bit of a general chit chat today. And I'm going to tell you about an exciting competition as well. Got about 10 minutes more, so get your questions in now if you've got any questions for me. But yes, so the exciting thing that's happening for 2019 is that I've decided to go on Patreon, which is a way of supporting YouTubers or other creative people by signing up to pledge a certain amount per month in return for certain benefits. So John Gardner, who is here today, he was the first ever person to support me on Patreon. So thank you very much to him once again. And I've got about 22 people on there now, which is fantastic. And the reason that I want you all to go and look on there is because there's some really good perks. It's not just about signing up and just giving some money for nothing. There's some perks to signing up to Patreon. So I think the best the best perk, it's called the no-brainer perk, is it's $5 a month, and basically it enters you every month into the Wild Ginger Running competition. And I've already sorted out the prize for this January's competition, so I'm going to unveil that now. And so the prize for the patron competition, which is anyone who is giving $5 or above in patron, you'll be entered into this prize draw, and I'll pick a name out of the hat live. Basically, the next competition is, the prize is going to be a pair of Lecky poles. So these retail at £140. So whoever wins these, they will get the choice of either, these are the Micro Trail Vario. So these are the ones that you can unclip this bit here and you can vary the length of them. Or you can choose to get the Micro Trail Pro, which come in different lengths. I can't remember the lengths, but it's something like from 105 centimeters to 140 centimeters. And those, they do collapse down, but they don't vary the length. So you just have to work out which one you need. So that is the competition prize for everyone who's signed up to support me on Patreon in 2019, is a pair of these Lecky poles. And there's another prize as well. There you'll win a weekend at Glenmore Lodge. So Glenmore Lodge is where I went to find out more about the Lecky poles. There's a film that I made just recently on my channel about using poles, and that was at Glenmore Lodge, which is in Aviemore in Scotland. And the weekend away is about, I think it's worth about £150. So it's a weekend where you go and you get taught about trail running, and you get to go with loads of different gear. There's like different shoes there. There's Innovate shoes, La Sportiva shoes. You get to go with the Lecky poles, and you get to have a look at the whole range of Petzl head torches as well and give them a go. And you get talks on nutrition. You get talks. There might be a physio there next time as well, because that was something that they were that everyone was wanting in the feedback. And you get talks on technique. You get talks on speed. Some elite athletes are there, like Ben Moutsey was there. He did a talk as well about hill training, and yeah, it was a really, really great weekend. And so that is the other part of the prize. So the first part of the prize is the Lecky poles, and the next part of the prize is the weekend away at Glenmore Lodge. So just for $5 a month on Patreon, you get automatically put into this prize draw. And you stand a chance of winning. And at the moment, there's only 22 people on Patreon, so you've got a really, really high odds of winning. So the earlier you sign up, the greater your chance of winning a prize, basically. So I'm just gonna read through a couple of questions about Patreon here. So Melanie Cullerton Wright says, how do I donate to Patreon? So if you just Google Wild Ginger Running and Patreon, then it will come up with my page on Patreon, and I will, in the link, I'll put a link to it in the description below this film as well when I've stopped going live. So yeah, so that's how you find me on Patreon. And there are other benefits as well. Like for $10, then you get to, I talked about the gear chat and the trail chat that's going to happen on a Wednesday evening at 8:30 p.m. from 2019 onwards. And what's going to happen with that is that elite athletes are going to come on and chat with us, and technique experts like Shane Benzie are going to come on and chat with us. So people who pay $10 a month on Patreon, they will get a chance to ask their own questions. So I'll be taking their questions preferentially. And then above that, there's different perks as well, like $25. You get to choose what I talk about on the channel, so you get to like help me pick the topics of what I'm talking about, and choose gear that you want me to review and that kind of thing. So you get a much more influence on the channel. And then the $50 tier is about when I'm a personal trainer as well. So I write you a training plan, and we have a monthly catch up on Skype for 30 minutes, and I'm motivating you and giving you advice about your goals and that kind of thing, like personal training. So those are the tiers. Oh, there's the $1 tier as well, where you can just, if you haven't got a ton of money, but you just appreciate the channel and you appreciate the advice, then $1 tier, that's the way to go. But I reckon that the $5 tier, the no-brainer, where you get put in for the competition every month, I reckon that's going to be the biggest one to go for. So yeah, take a look. It's Google Wild Ginger Running and Patron, and it will come up with my page, and all the information about how to sign up is there. And I'll also put a link in the description below. So let's just go through a couple more questions. So we've got about 5 more minutes of chat left. So get in all your questions now if you want to ask me a question before Christmas, because the next one of these is not going to be until Wednesday, January the 2nd. Wednesday, the 2nd of January at 8:30 is going to be the next gear chat. So get your questions in now if you've got any, and I'll answer as many as I can before 2019 starts. Okay, so people still talking about shoes that are too tight around the toe box. So Simon Hewitt saying it's always my 2 smallest toenails that go black and drop off after a longer run. Yes, I definitely feel his pain there. Melanie Cullerton Wright says Ultra are the best, but I have to put heel raisers in them, as didn't like zero drop. That's a really good idea. I have got some insoles with heel raisers on, so I did think about trying those the other day, but then I was like, oh, it just makes the shoe heavier. So yeah, I'll try that as well. That's a really good shout, Melanie. Melanie Cullerton Wright says, how do I donate to Patron? That's Google Wild Ginger Running Patron, and it should come up with my page, but I'll put a link in the description below. And Melanie Cullerton Wright again says, where did you get that wallpaper or the map behind you? It's awesome. So that is from Love Maps On. I'll put a link to us putting up that wallpaper in the description below as well, because we made a film about it. And it's basically from Love Maps On, and it's a big sticker. So it's not actually wallpaper. You don't have to slather anything on. You don't have to buy wallpaper paste. It's a roll of this wide sticker. So it's like wallpaper, but it's a sticker. So it's straightforward to put up in some ways, but then in some ways it's a bit more difficult. So you have to start it right, flat, straight, right at the bottom, because then you stick it all the way up, and you can't just kind of slide it around like you can with wallpaper paste. You've got to stick it right down immediately. But as you can see there are tiny, like a 1 millimeter gap between some of the bits of paper where they've kind of gone over bumps on the wall and stuff. It's not totally flat, but you can't tell at all. What we did first, we tried to cheat. We bought OS maps and we tried to stick them together, but I think OS must have done a thing where they go, people are going to make wallpaper out of our maps, let's make them all slightly different. So they very slightly vary the scale. So 1 square is always 1 kilometer on an OS map, but it's not always the same size. So we were sticking them on, we stuck 2 on, we were like, great, that's fine. And then we stuck a 3rd one on, and it was like 2 or 3 millimeters out by the time you got to the top of it. And then obviously you compound that by putting the next one on. So that just didn't work, so we had to go for that one. But it's got this really cool thing, relief shading on it. So when there's some hills, it puts a shading on there. So it really kind of makes it 3D. It's not 3D, it's not lumpy wallpaper, but it looks 3D, and it's really, really cool. Because when we moved here 2 years ago, and I wanted to explore the local area, and you can see like there's a huge lake behind me there, that's Rutland Water, and there's some mountains, well, they're not mountains, they're just hills behind me there. And then you can see over this side, it's really flat. Oh no, that's not flat, that's Leicester, and this side is really, really flat, that's Peterborough, and there's literally a line just down there, and it just goes really, really flat, so no, I'm not going to run there. Then there's loads of forestry just here, like there's loads of cool forests to run around. So what I do is, I want to go and run in a new area, so I literally just get my phone and I photograph that area. And then I take my phone with me, and I've got a map on my phone, which is great. So always take spare battery charger as well for the phone, so that you don't get caught out with that. But yeah, I found that map brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I love it. So there we go. Yes, Paul Way says it's a no-brainer. Yes, the $5 patron tier is a no-brainer. So everyone get on there, and you've got the chance to win some leggy poles come January. There's only 22 people in there. It's pretty much a done deal. Pretty much you're going to win. Hein Meinhardt says, a topic suggestion, how to transition from road marathons / ultras like comrades to trail races. That's a really, really good topic. Yes, very good topic. I'll write that down. Yeah, basically slowly but surely would be my advice there, for anyone who wants some advice. Yep. So yeah, that's a really good topic suggestion. Yes, keep these suggestions coming. Just got a couple more minutes on the chat. So if you want to ask me any questions or anything about how I run the channel or how it's going to be for 2019 or any burning gear questions that you've got, then just fire away in the chat there. So Jonathan Downer says he is hoping to get a Hero 7 for Christmas. Is there a chance in the future that you could do a film about sports cameras and how you make your films? That's a really good idea. Yeah, I suppose if I was going to make a film of me making a film, I'd need someone to film me doing that as well. Oh, I don't know how that would work. But, oh, well, kind of. This kind of answers that immediately, actually, because on Thursday, it's Thursday the 20th, it's going to be my last film out on a Thursday at 7 a.m. It's a blooper film. So I've put together all the bits that I usually cut out of my films and put them in a blooper reel. And it makes me look really rubbish, actually. So I don't know if it's a good idea to put it out. But it, yeah, that kind of says a bit about how I make my films, and it shows you a little bit about yeah, like basically the biggest thing is the sound. I think technical issues are the bane of my life. It probably looks to you like it's all kind of straightforward and everything, but behind the scenes there's always a load of technical rubbish going on where I've gone, oh no, the lights aren't working, oh no, the live stream's not working, my internet's gone down, or the microphone's not connecting because I got the wrong plug, or there's tons of stuff that, having gone from not being on YouTube a year and a half ago to being on YouTube just now for a year and a half, I have learned so much. There's so much to learn. And yeah, and now if I look back, if you go and look back at my earliest films, you'll be cringing along with me because they're rubbish compared to what I do now. And I'm so terrible on camera compared to like all the practice I've had now. So go and watch some of the archive footage and you'll have a laugh this Christmas. So Gear Tutorials is coming in with a comment here. They found my ANEG pack really useful. So they've asked for the 10-litre version for Christmas. So thanks in advance. And it's the first time that they've caught the live chat. Oh, that's great. Well, welcome Gear Tutorials. And just to recap, this is the last time that we're doing a live chat on a Tuesday at 1 p.m. The live chat is going to move to Wednesday evening at 8:30 p.m. for the new year. So the first one is going to be budget running packs, and there's going to be 6 or 7 or 8 of them, and I'm going to be talking about those on the 2nd of January. So I thought budget packs would be cool because it's just after Christmas. Everyone's run out of money by then, so we need to buy a budget pack then. Okay, that is fantastic. Great. Well, if there aren't any more questions on anything about gear, thank you for all your comments. They're really great suggestions. Hopefully I've answered a few of those questions today. So yeah, I'm gonna finish off editing my bloopers film now to put out on Thursday for you for a nice little Christmas present. And then I'm gonna have a week off over Christmas, and then I'm gonna be back on the 2nd of January 2019. It's gonna be a Wednesday, it's 8:30 p.m. and we will talk about budget running packs. And then the next week we'll have a trail athlete or an expert, and I'll let you know who that is on the Wednesday. But if you want a chance to win a pair of Lecky poles, then do sign up to the no-brainer tier on Wild Ginger Running on Patreon. That's just Google Wild Ginger Running on Patreon, and I'll put a link to it in the description below as well. So Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you so much for I just want to say thank you to everybody for joining me every week on a Tuesday for the live chat. We've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about poles, we've talked about waterproof jackets, we've talked about waterproof trousers, we've talked about a ton of things. Nutrition we've talked about as well. So if you've got any ideas as well, then when this film has done processing, you can type them in the comments below as well. But basically, I just want to say thank you for joining me and being here and listening to the live chat every Tuesday at 1 p.m. And I am looking forward to Wednesday evenings at 8:30, a little bit of a different time. So yeah, it's going to be good. So yeah, everyone's typing Merry Christmas, everyone. So I'm going to type it too. Merry Christmas. There we go. I've typed Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everybody. And thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for all your support on Patreon if you can. If you can't, don't worry, just keep watching. It's all completely free. And I will see you. I'll put a film out on Thursday, and I'll see you in the new year for a chat on the 2nd of January, 8:30 p.m. So see you all there. Okay, I'm going to go now. Have a happy Christmas, everybody.